Yes, it is I, Russell Mays, doing a couple of different things today. I ran across a couple of different lectures in the last couple of days that I wanted to share with everybody. It made a lot of sense to what was going on in today's world, especially reference to business and how businesses, politicians, corporations, and people operate. One of the main things that was said by Herb Keller. He was the CEO of Southwest Airlines. And his philosophy was the business of business is people. So what does that mean exactly? The business of business is people. I think we've lost sight of what business is supposed to be doing. There's a gentleman by the name of Raj Sidoa did a speech on conscious capitalism. Very powerful. It's a new concept that's coming about within business. But in reality, it's not a new concept. Conscious capitalism does not focus on bottom line or profits, even though that is the goal of all businesses, is to make money and profit. First, I want to say, if you're in business for yourself and people come up to you and say, because you're making money, that you should share that wealth, that's BS. If you built a business, and I don't care if you're Jeff Bezos from Amazon or Gates or whoever, if you built a business from scratch and sacrificed, you deserve all the rewards that you want. However, the moment you start abusing people and your power, that's where the cutoff happens. So we're just going to leave that for what it is. What it comes down to is people and businesses need each other. If it wasn't for the mass population and people, there would be no business. And if it wasn't for business, we'd all still be in the Stone Age and living in caves. So the bottom line, as Herb Keller presented, was if you take care of the people will take care of you. Doesn't mean you have to be abusive to them or kiss their asses. Both sides. You don't have to kiss the corporate asses and you don't have to kiss the people's asses. If you work together, everybody succeeds. This is the reason why capitalism is doing so well in the United States and in other countries that are using capitalism, is because you allow people to serve and help other people while you're making money. Not everybody is cut out to be a CEO. There are darn good people that are great with body work, and they end up doing fantastic customizing of cars. There's great people that can string huge power tension lines all across their country and build things too. So these people are very important for the structure of business also. Conscious capitalism, described by Raj, that's R-A-J, his last name is Sidoa, I-S-O-D-I-A. I suggest you check out his lectures on conscious capitalism. He lays it out correctly and why people are the key. Let's face it. If you did not want to buy that person's product because of price, poor quality, whatever it may be, patriotism, whatever, that company will change its ways. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is people are forgetting that politics and our government also need people. Too many people think nowadays that the only time our politicians need us is during the voting so they can have a job again. Because we have started thinking this way, our politicians are thinking this way. They believe that once they're in office, they have full right to do whatever they want to. This is not true. They only have full right to do whatever they want to is if you allow them to do it. Full access to the people does not mean full privileges to the politicians. So, I wanted to bring that up also. But Conscious Capitalism by Raj is a very powerful idea and concept that is coming back around. This was developed originally by our founding fathers. That if a person wanted to make shoes, that person can go make shoes without interference of the government telling them how to make their shoes. All right. So, in my course of this lecture through Conscious Capitalism, I also found a young lady. Her name is Danielle Allen. And she did a whole discussion on the Declaration of Independence. The reason why I wanted to bring both of these together is because Miss Allen focused a lot on the word happiness. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This was in the Declaration of Independence. And this declaration was designed to be presented to the King of England, to England, and say, hey, this is what we see and foresee. Since then, it has become more. It's been designed for our own government. It was one of the basis of the foundations used to write the Constitution. What's interesting about it is her lecture focused a good 2/3 of it on the word happiness. Why did they use the word happiness? Many times during the Constitution's writing, everyone thinks Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence. He penned the Declaration of Independence. He was one of the young congressmen, and he could write really well. So he penned it. But it was written and developed by others. Can't remember their names offhand. I'll have to look it up again. However, one of the major discussions was on life, liberty, and property was the main focus. And Miss Allen was talking about property. And one of the focus of property was slavery and the happiness to pursue their own and keep their own property. But then our founding fathers discovered and decided property was not proper, because even though they were slaves, they were people. And they knew that in the future, slaves would become landowners like they once were before slavery was instituted. So they had to, what do you want to call it, discuss a new way of saying something that everybody has, that is a God-given right. It is your right to life. It is your right to liberty. And it is your right to pursue happiness. Whatever that happiness may be, it is your right to pursue it. So, as you can see, with capitalism, Declaration of Independence, our Constitution, business, and people, they're all in one. But the foundation is people. It's you and I. How do we make our difference? How do we make our life better? What do we want out of life? So the question being is, what are we going to do to make our America better? Make our lives better? If you think about it, I said this a long time ago, or a little bit ago, that our lives have increased greatly since the Stone Age. Think about that. Even the poorest of poor in this world live better than they did 100 years ago, or 200 years ago, or 1,000 years ago. So our lives are progressively getting better and better. What we need to do is really take a look at what business does. Is the businesses that we do business with for our products and services and goods, are they good for the people? I do not care if they're touting climate change. I do not care if they're touting pollution. I do not care if they're touting the welfare of man. What it comes down to is what they do. I am not going to trash the companies saying, well, they're taking carbon footprints and buying it from another person so they can pollute all they want because they bought the right to do that. That is the essence of finding out what conscious capitalism is all about. Conscious capitalism is about people. We have the ability to shut the government down. We have the ability to shut a corporation down. We also have the ability to do nothing and to stick our heads in the sand. These are our God-given rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If you want to live off the grid, you have a right to do that. If you want to live with a chip embedded in your body so the government can track you, you have a right to do that. What are you going to do? Are you going to support our country, or are you going to trash our country? People say this is a global economy. Yes, it is. People say we have to be climate change aware. Yes, we do. However, no matter how many times you ride your bicycle instead of drive your car, the air pollution from other countries will still pollute our air here. Think about it. So what are you going to do? I'm not saying going out there to don't pollute. I'm not telling you that. I'm telling you that it's got to be a conscious thing for everything. Everyone talks about, well, make love and not war. Well, there are people out there that are pure evil that will make war. And you want to know something? You can see them in all the bars and, well, casinos that you go to. There are good people out there, and there are bad people out there. This is a part of life. I suggest checking out Conscious Capitalism. It will give you a whole new outlook on how to present yourself to a corporation or a business, no matter how big or how small. Have any comments? Let me know. I'm Russell Mays. I'll be chatting at you later. Take care and enjoy life. Bye-bye.